Armed police in Britain have launched late-night raids in the city of Birmingham in the English Midlands and made several arrests. They stormed a second-floor flat above a row of shops. A BBC correspondent says it's understood the raids are linked to the terror attack in London on Wednesday. 3 people were killed when a lone attacker drove a car into pedestrians on Westminster Bridge near Parliament. He then got into the precinct of Parliament, where he stabbed and killed a policeman before he was shot dead. 29 people have been injured. London's top anti-terror officer, Mark Rowley, has been speaking in the last few minutes.
Hundreds of detectives have been working through the night, and during that time I can confirm that we have searched 6 addresses and made 7 arrests. The inquiries in Birmingham, London and other parts of the country are continuing. It is still our belief, which continues to be borne out by our investigation, that this attacker acted alone and was inspired by international terrorism.
Our correspondent Greg Dawson is close to Parliament.
The sight of armed officers in this part of central London is nothing unusual. You walk past the Houses of Commons every day, you'll see enormous concrete barricades, armed policemen. The question will be, how did someone, given that that security is in place, get that close to be able to carry out this attack? The Mall, the road leading to Buckingham Palace, that's another area of central London that remains closed this morning. The Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh, they were due to head to the new headquarters of the Metropolitan Police to officially open that building today. In light of these events, that has now been postponed.
A Chinese salvage team working in South Korean waters has brought the stricken ferry Seoul to the surface of the sea nearly 3 years after it sank in bad weather, killing more than 300 people. Most were students on a school trip. Steve Evans has this report from Seoul.
The vessel, now on its side on the surface between 2 Chinese salvage barges, is caked in mud, though its original blue and white colours can still be faintly detected. The plan now is to secure it and then tow it to port, where it will be met by the bereaved families of the children who were trapped when it tipped over on April the 16th, 2014. Only 9 bodies were never recovered, and the government bowed to the pressure of their families to have the ship raised.
A former soldier has been sentenced to life in prison in Cambodia for the murder last year of Kam Lai, a prominent government critic. The convicted man, Ang, admits to the crime and says Kam Lai owed him money. However, human rights groups say the killing was not investigated properly and may have been a political assassination. This is the latest world news from the BBC. The warring sides in Syria's civil war are due to resume UN-mediated peace talks in Geneva on Thursday, but the 5th round of talks are taking place as a recent upsurge in fighting puts further pressure on a fragile ceasefire. The UN Special Envoy to Syria, Staffan de Mistura, called the developments alarming and said he hoped the delegations had serious intentions to follow up the political process. Many issues remained deadlocked. Rare wave-like clouds that were first recorded by members of the public have been officially recognized in a new edition of the International Cloud Atlas. Asperitas clouds, which means rough-like in Latin, are one of a dozen new entries in the first update to the atlas since 1987. Here's our environment correspondent, Matt McGrath.
Looking like the roiling sea seen from beneath the waves, Asperitas clouds were first photographed back in 2006 by amateur observers. Since then, a global campaign to recognize the cloud type has gathered pace, resulting in a formal classification in this first digital edition of the atlas. Other odd-shaped clouds and weather phenomena have now been added to this global reference book that dates back to 1896. Contrails from the wispy vapors of airplanes have officially been recognized, as have rainbows, halos, snow devils and hailstones.
Health experts in several different countries are warning about a stubborn strain of tuberculosis classed as multi-drug resistant, or MDR TB, that is being carried around the world by migration and international travel. Researchers say approximately half the global cases of MDR TB are in Russia, China and India. All cases of the disease in Norway, Austria and the Netherlands, and 90% of them in Britain, France, Italy and Germany, are said to have been diagnosed among migrants and refugees. BBC World News.